Happy Easter, guys. Welcome back to the Fantactics podcast. My name is Renz, the man making sense with every sentence. I'm here in the studio with two ebullient gentlemen of my generation. I have Imbued Man here with us again on the show, and also my ever Fantactics, ever fantastic, and ever Octopus Worldwide co-host Sabubu Elkun. Guys, welcome back to the show. How are we doing? Happy Easter to you all, and happy Easter to our viewers.
Yeah, thank you, Renz. It's good to be back on the show once again, right? There's been a lot of nice reviews from being here the last time. And of course, I saw the show last week as well. So it's nice to be here.
Well, the Premiership has gotten to the point where they call it the run-in.
Okay. So people are now running.
Yes, and as it stands, we already know the semi-finalists for all the European competitions.
Yeah.
As it is, Arsenal could navigate their way at the Bernabeu by winning by 2-1. Paris Saint-Germain lost at Villa Park, but they still made it through. Inter Milan had a scare at home, but they ended up playing a draw. They went based on their first leg result. Then Barcelona went through despite losing to Borussia Dortmund.
Yeah.
So the semi-finals are Arsenal versus PSG and Inter Milan versus Barcelona. First leg is in London. Then I think Barca are playing the first leg at home to Inter Milan. Then for Man U, they did what they are very good at doing. Maguire being the number 9, saving the day and saving Amorim's job.
Yeah.
They've gone to the semi-finals, but they have a very tough nut to crack. Athletic Bilbao. They are the host of this year's final. I don't know the magic they are going to do, but I hope and we wish they can make it through. For Spurs, they did a good job scoring a penalty and
holding on to the lead.
To the lead.
Because that's one thing they don't know how to do these days.
In fact, everybody was surprised. Then Bodo Glimt lost to Lazio, but won on penalties. A team that comes from a city that people are less than 100,000.
Wow.
So it is Bodo Glimt versus Tottenham. Yeah. Then Bilbao versus Man. Then for the Conference League, the blowout from Rondo decided to sell their match.
Because that's the only thing you can tell me. But we'll talk more on that. But Sabu, you were giving us the rundown of how we went down. Please finish. Don't be looking at me like that. I don't like it. You're saying if they sell their match, you're looking at me. Now me broker the deal.
Well, Chelsea will play in the semi-final, and they have the enviable record of being the first team in Europe to win all European tournaments.
If they can
win the Conference League.
Because last, I'm not trusting what I'm seeing. But go on, please.
So who is Chelsea playing in the semi-finals?
Well, in the semi-finals, Chelsea will be going up against...
they are playing a team called Jugandin.
Jom Garden. I don't the pronunciation, but it's Joga. Anyways, then Joga them.
The other semi-final is a Champions League buster. That's Real Betis versus Fiorentina. So we hope for the best.
Well, let me not start from Chelsea because they'll say I'm taking it personal. So let's start from the top. Look at the Champions League. The last time we were on the show, Shay, we were just discussing the preliminary fixture of the semi-finals, and I remember you being fairly confident with Arsenal coming away from that fixture with a positive result. What do you think made the difference? Looking retrospectively over the two legs, what do you think made the difference?
If you remember one of the points I made, I spoke about Mikel Arteta.
Yeah.
I said it that regardless of the results, it's taking us now up. So I believe that he has got us now to the stage where we're not just at the top, we're going to stay there. The guy is a very, very, very good coach. Also because we have young players like MLS already churning out what they are doing. Even Rice, how old is he? The team is only going to get better.
So I also agree that Arteta doesn't get enough credit. And I understand that in this era of, we need trophies, we need immediate results. Sometimes the gradual process of building is always ignored by the fans who are always eager to, personally as a Chelsea fan, that's one of the things we have been trained. That's one of the habits we have developed over the hire and fire approach of Abramovich. So that's a great one. And I think it's something that Arsenal fans need to learn to do more, which is appreciate their manager. Sabubu, moving on from, Arsenal's fixture, you said Dortmund gave Barcelona a scare. And, prior to this fixture, Barcelona was one of the teams highly rated in the competition. Do you see them being able to, reach the final against a very dogged Inter Milan team that made light work? I call it light work because they didn't really have to labor that much. Bayern Munich were doing the work and they still couldn't even get the job done. Do you see Barcelona proceeding to the final through that?
If there's anything you're going to give credit to Inter Milan, is they have a very deep squad. Inter can churn out 2 teams. For every position they have a replacement that can play without even the coach getting scared. Yeah. And that tie was won in the first leg. Because if there's anything about Inter, is they are very good defensively. Very, very good. Only God know what happened to them yesterday, and they lost to Bologna.
Well, they considered 2 against Bayern.
Yeah. But they are a very, very good team. And when it comes to the semi-finals of these European competitions, tactics starts to play. Yeah. Teams are very careful. Nobody's going all out again like before. Yeah. Because you are seeing 2 matches, you are seeing the final. And you will not want to take unnecessary risk in some matches. You understand what I'm saying? But that match will be won from the bench. Hans Flick and Inzaghi, you see the best of both worlds. A team that knows how to defend, a team that knows how to attack. And the way that match has been, set, if Inter scores first, it's going to be a problem for Barcelona. That's just the truth. Because they are very good defensively. Wow. So I don't know how Barca will handle the pressure.
Well, you said something earlier. At this stage, people become cautious. So my point is, if Inter should score first, Flick should know that they don't need to go gongo. Because there's still 90 minutes, there's still another 90 minutes. And they're confident in their attacking ability. So I think they should not be under pressure, knowing that their football can eventually do the talking.
Sure. Well, that's very interesting. So just on the go, who do you see qualifying? We can do it now ahead. Who do you think, Sabubu, from that semi-final, Inter Milan versus Barcelona, who would you back?
Inter.
Imbued man. So Arsenal against a very interesting PSG side.
Now,
who do you back?
Now I'm an Arsenal fan, but I'll still try and base it on, convincing facts. You have to back a team that has just beaten the defending champions, 15-time champions, number 1. Number 2, we beat PSG earlier. I'm not saying that those are the only factors, but there's no way I can go against a team that's just done those 2 things. So I'll back Arsenal.
So a very interesting projection from both of our very senior analysts in the studio. So we'll be looking forward to that. About the Europa League manuscript through. They did an amazing comeback job, which we should give them credit for because we don't see that a lot from Manchester United, and they are now in the semi-final. You already made a very detailed analysis of what they'll be going up against. This is the team that will be hosting the final, and they'll be looking to get there too. So just on the go, you already didn't give them much of a chance anyway, so I wouldn't even ask you, but what do you think?
Let me just quickly say something.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people saying that Man U came back. Yes, they did come back, but they've come back in many games, only to lose again is what people are forgetting. It happened with Chelsea last season. Yeah. So the problem still remains their inability to keep
see out games.
And if they do that against Bilbao doesn't give too many chances. They looked at their game yesterday, 1-0. So my point is, their coach, what's his name again? Man U's coach.
Yes.
Amorim will know that they have to go there tactically disciplined. They have 180 minutes to play. So defensively, they have to be sound. But they might just get a goal, maybe on the break or something.
And then the Spursy guys, do you see them making it to the final?
To be honest,
so there's a possibility of an all-English final out there in the Europa League.
At the same time, it can be a Spanish and English
all Spanish, yes. So good luck to them. So I didn't want to start with Chelsea anyways from top to bottom, but no,
why are you so confident?
I believe they'll go through.
It's
the final that they will have to play out their hearts if they need to win it.
Now, I made a comment last time on the show, about me not seeing Chelsea winning 3 of their games down to the end of the season. Do you see this Chelsea side being able to finish the job against either Fiorentina or Real Betis if they do go through? This is a team that is struggling to contain the likes of Fulham, the likes of Ipswich, the likes of Leicester in the Premier League. So
I think Chelsea's biggest problem, that team has ability, is immaturity. both on the part of the players. When things are going wrong, the person that can put their foot down to say, this is how to manage the game. Unfortunately, even their coach sounds immature too. You can see that there's a lot of infighting, blaming people. The point I'm making is, against the likes of Fiorentina, you need to be united. You need everything to go your way. So for that reason, I don't see Chelsea winning, just because they have to put their own house in order.
And they've lost 3 straight finals.
So that means they have... So that would be something...
They want to stop that rot if they get to the final.
Well, when all is said and done, it comes down to 90 minutes, right? And everybody will be looking to get themselves in the best shape for, getting the trophy home and getting the medal. Hopefully it's the gold one, not the other one for attendance.
So let's go through the weekend fixtures. Officially, Liverpool relegated Leicester yesterday. So just one more spot for who is going, and it's likely going to be Ipswich. Because they lost to Arsenal at home. Man City did a number on Everton, winning 2-0. Man City had no business winning that match. Can I quickly chip in
something? I was looking at the Leicester City Twitter account yesterday. You know the way they announced their relegation? They said, we can finally confirm that we'll be taking part in the championship 2020. They put it in the way that looked like it was an achievement.
Very innovative.
Would be a good part of
so that's one thing with good PR, and that's one thing with football. We can always find the light spots and the bright moments, even in moments like that. So Leicester, welcome to the championship this season. We look forward to see you. And then, of course, the Ipswich game, Arsenal were so impressive, even with making a lot of changes to the lineup. It seems Arteta's team is just hitting top gear at the right point in the season. Unfortunately, the Premier League is already out of reach, but they still have the opportunity to make a historic achievement in Europe. So kudos to him.
Yeah, and Liverpool will be champions if they beat Spurs. In their next match.
They probably just need a point.
No, they need 3 points.
In fact, if
Arsenal lose on Wednesday, they are champions. You understand? But if Arsenal beats Crystal and they win, then every other team they play from now to the end of the season will give them a guard of honor. And the first thing that will do it will be Chelsea.
No, Chelsea should get used to it, because I don't know. I just pray they don't go and give guard of honor during Conference League final, because it's possible they might do. The way Maresca is moving. But please go on.
Then in Spain, Barcelona considered 3.
Yeah, 2.
And they won 4. So that's a problem they have to look into, because they attack a lot, but I don't know. That their defensive midfield.
You can't always come back.
Yeah, that their defensive midfield is a problem.
I think
they were down at some point.
Yes,
they were down, and a lot of people thought they were out. Okay. But they made a comeback, and like you said, there are some times that it just comes together, and there are some times that it falls apart for them, and that's one of the things they will be hoping that Lady Luck is on their side when they play the most crucial games, because you go against teams that get a sniff at you and take their chances, you'll be in trouble.
Yeah.
Because those chances you're conceding recklessly, they won't let you go unpunished. So against the more quality sides, they're in the Champions League. They'll learn the hard way.
You saw the quarterfinal against Dortmund.
Yeah.
If Dortmund were more clinical, that game would have gone to an extra time.
They would have gotten more. Yeah. They probably wouldn't have needed extra time. Funny enough. So I think Hansi Flick has to, because earlier in the season they were very solid defensively. Their high line worked, but for the best teams, other managers are constantly working on your blueprints.
Exactly.
They are looking to figure you out. And that's what Pep Guardiola has finally started suffering, because
everybody
a lot of teams were building their curriculum for the new season based on what he has achieved. This is how this team set up, the top team set up like this. This is how to break them down. They're looking for weaknesses.
I think one point we also need to put in the mix is that the emergence of Rafinha.
Yes.
This other guy, the young guy, Yamal, has never been one to really defend.
Yeah.
However, the fact that Rafinha has been winning games for Barcelona, there's almost that reluctance to up on his defensive duties. Yeah. Do you understand? So Flick is finding it difficult to find that balance now. So it's almost like relying on the fact that we will outscore them. So my point is, like you said, if they meet a team that is tactically aware and they are able to clip Rafinha on the day and they concede, then they'll be in trouble. So they are kind of relying on him a lot.
Then for Bayern Munich, they won against Heidenheim. They are getting close to their Bundesliga title.
Harry Kane, please keep praying. Keep praying. It's not won yet.
But finally.
Yes, but keep praying.
Then in Italy, there's a surprise.
Yeah.
Inter and Napoli.
Surprise that is not too surprising when you know that it's Conte.
Yes.
Right?
their level on points now. It's just go different. It's going to be difficult for Inter.
Because they have one eye on the Champions League.
Their eyes are on the Champions League. Their eyes are on Coppa Italia. And Napoli is playing just the league.
But if there's one edge that Inter has over Napoli, just the one edge, is the fact that just like Atletico Madrid, you always know there's always one difficult fixture. Away, where their lack of goals, relatively speaking, would always. So I wasn't surprised that Atletico normally would win that kind of game 1-0. They lost 0-1 because they're not as tight as they used to be. At the same time, they are not scoring. So if Inter has any advantage, it's the fact that those next 5 matches, they might just blitz those teams. For Napoli, there's always one difficult fixture that
for them.
They are not able to score.
Yeah, Conte's tactical setup is always, reliant on the defense doing the job.
But Inter can win the next 5.
They can, yes. They are very.
So it's going to be an interesting running, and that's one thing we love about title races in leagues that are
go to the wire.
For Chelsea, they boost their top 5 aspiration by beating Fulham. They came from behind.
Let's not talk. Go on.
No. See, you might be surprised Chelsea might just finish 5th.
No. Look. I saw something that I haven't seen.
But the problem we're having is that
yesterday, that was spirit in the Chelsea squad, and it has been lacking.
Like you said, Fulham is difficult.
Yes, Fulham is a very difficult game. I didn't expect anything out of that fixture. So on the positive, is a plus to Maresca. His changes worked, and his team showed a little bit of fight.
And like he was saying, I think he's trying to say Chelsea is a momentum team. You won't be surprised if you just go the next 5
momentum. Well, I pray for them.
The biggest
Aston Villa, Nottingham Forest, Liverpool.
The biggest problem Chelsea has is a Newcastle hitting form at the right time.
Yeah,
they are blowing teams apart.
They are the most informed team.
And I speak to you, they are third. They've gone third.
They are the most informed.
But those teams are still playing one another. That's a good.
Yes, they'll take away points from each other.
Yeah,
because Liverpool will simply
Iron
Chelsea.
go bend iron. Yes. So, guys, it's been an amazing time here on the show. Please, if you're not following us yet, we are going on a short break. Do take the time to do the needful so that your knees don't go too full. It's still the Fantastics podcast. We love you guys, and we'll be back shortly to look at the games that are coming up and to give you our expert opinion and analysis. Don't go anywhere.
Okay, welcome back to the show. As we said in the first segment that the Premiership, other leagues have gotten to the running time where teams are confirming their spots in Europe. Those chasing the league are trying to get their points to make it. Then those that have been confirmed that
are confirming their spots in the second time. Yeah.
Well, on Tuesday, Man City will play Aston Villa.
Yeah.
This is the battle for the top 5.
Indeed.
Courtesy Arsenal getting to the semi-finals guaranteed England one extra spot, same with Spain. Man City and Villa.
For me, I'll just try and keep it straight.
Okay.
2 Spanish teams. No one wants to give the edge to the other. Man City is playing at home against their rivals for the. So I'd like to think a win or a draw. I don't for Man City.
For Man City.
A win or a draw.
I just wanted to touch on something, and it just goes to show the impact of Spanish managers on world football. He called them 2 Spanish teams. And it's just the way they deploy themselves and they play. So it's
English
just,
teams.
But it's just the identity.
The face of the manager
footballing identity
is what he's talking about.
Their footballing identity is now Spanish because of the way they play. Amazing. Well done to Spanish coaches. So then they get teams all around the world.
On Tuesday, Valencia will play Espanyol. Barcelona will play Mallorca. Last month I said something here that is like Atletico Madrid are not interested in winning that league.
No, they have given up. And it's okay. It's not every time.
How can they lose to Las Palmas of all teams?
It's not every time you win.
When you are playing on the edge, 0-0, there's always a set piece or something that can go wrong. Their attack is not good enough and their defense is not as good as it used to be.
No, I don't think their attack is not good enough. But it's just this disconnect between Atletico's defense and their attack. If you put the attacking unit, you see they have impressive players. They have the Griezmann, they have Alvarez.
Yeah, but I mean compared to Madrid and Barcelona.
Yeah.
So if your attack is not as good, then your defense has to be as good as it used to be, which is why they won titles then.
And when you look at comparing teams like that, the league is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So you don't really need those. It's not about the one-on-one fixtures head-to-head, unless you are all taking care of business. Yeah. So unfortunately for them, they have just run out of steam at the business end of the season. They were doing so well in the beginning.
So, Valencia Espanyol, what do you think?
Well, for me, anything can happen in that fixture. Right? Valencia is not the team they used to be. But they are showing signs of improvement lately. So I would like to think worst case draw. I can't confidently call it.
Our Niger boy is chipping in with the goals. And me, I'm always there to support anything Niger. So I back them with a win or draw because my man is on form.
What about Barcelona versus Mallorca?
Barcelona versus Mallorca. Barcelona win or draw because themselves, their leg they shake sometimes against all these small teams. It's the ones that you don't know that will kill them. And they take care of business against the big team. So you win or draw for them.
Then on Wednesday, Arsenal will take on Crystal Palace. The match was supposed to be this weekend.
Yeah.
But Crystal Palace is playing in the FA Cup semi-final, so they have to bring the match back.
Yeah. Well, Arsenal is a team brimming with confidence. They are on form. I don't see at the Emirates. I don't see Crystal Palace standing a chance against them.
I have to add that because there's less of a distraction from Champions League. Now we are not playing over the weekend.
Yeah.
So normally, yes, with that
full
squad playing at the Emirates.
Something tells me Crystal might not want to put too much into that match because they have an opportunity to win a silverware.
Exactly.
So they might just say, okay, let's take it easy. They're already safe in the Premiership.
As I hear silverware, they are silver for where? Maybe they might win silver in that place that you are thinking they want to win silverware.
Then Athletic Bilbao will take Las Palmas.
Right?
Celta Vigo will play Villarreal. Deportivo Alaves will take on Real Sociedad. Then Getafe and Real Madrid.
You always have to back Bilbao at home.
Yes.
They're very solid.
They're very good.
Yeah. And then Madrid against Getafe. Getafe they are a trouble team for Madrid though, but they'll get the result. They are wounded and they are smelling blood. So they'll be like, these guys might be distracted with what's happening. Let's see what we can do just for pride.
Then the Coppa Italia semi-final second leg. Inter are the home team now against AC Milan. The first leg ended 1-1 as AC Milan being the home team.
Yeah.
So what do you see in that match?
Well,
it's a chance for them to have the double.
Yeah, we have always been talking about Inter is one of the three teams currently in Europe chasing the treble alongside PSG and Barcelona. And for a chance at history, you always give it all. AC Milan are not themselves this season. So I'll back Inter Milan to go through.
Okay.
They should have more than enough.
Yes.
With all the distractions to it.
Then Thursday fixture selected for La Liga, Atletico Madrid versus Real Vallecano.
Expect Atletico Madrid to come back.
You're sure about that?
Simeone will not give up. He would not give up.
I understand.
A win or a draw, just to be safe, because he might want to come back and he does not have transport.
Then the second semi-finals of the Coppa Italia, Bologna are playing at home against Empoli. They won the first leg away to Empoli at 3-0.
Yes. And of course, they have now,
confidence
they have climbed into the top four. So we'll likely be seeing them in the Champions League again. I think Bologna is a team to watch out for if they can continue to build on the good work they have been doing structurally.
Players. So we need to see what else.
Then Friday fixtures. Paris Saint-Germain will play on Friday because of their Champions League match for Tuesday. They're playing.
I think they'll also have a game in midweek, either Tuesday or so against Nantes before.
No, they're playing Nice. They're playing Nice on Friday.
They have a fixture before this one, so I'll be looking at fatigue a little bit because
they've won the league already.
They have. So they can also rest players and give their boys a run out. So looking at, that's one thing with football. You can't predict injuries. You might just say, okay, let's put the big boys out for a 10-minute workout and something happens to them. So hopefully they can get through.
Okay, then Atlanta will try to cement their top 4 aspirations
against Lecce.
They're playing Lecce.
That should be a straight win. Because
they cannot waste the good results they've had.
Yes. And then on Saturday in the Premiership, Chelsea would host Everton in lunchtime kickoff.
Very tricky. If ever there was a tricky fixture, if there's one thing that can always go and win away,
it's Everton.
Yes,
it will frustrate you.
Yeah, and you were talking about Maresca's casting of aspersions, trying to deflect the blame. There's something that has become prevalent at Stamford Bridge of late. The fans are gradually turning against the team or against the team's performances. Let's put it that way. Booing their players, pressuring the goalkeeper. Chelsea conceded against Ipswich by going long because the crowd was kind of booing Sanchez and pressuring him. So most of these things, it makes Chelsea kind of weak at home. So
there's a team that can take advantage. It's Everton and Moyes.
They are they are very psychological.
Long balls, corner kicks,
physical, imposing. So Chelsea, Well, it might probably an Everton win or draw.
I'll go for a Chelsea straight win.
A Chelsea straight win.
Yeah.
Okay,
I can't call it.
You're looking at their momentum. Yeah, on a safe side, because if I were to put my money where my mouth is, I'll just go with both teams to score.
That fixture can be anything.
Yeah, both teams to score. So there'll be goals in it.
Brighton
that
and
I
West
can be
Ham.
sure.
Again, those are two teams that are not consistent.
Brighton has not been consistent
at all. I'll say 1-1.
Oh.
West Ham doesn't really concede goals anymore too.
Yeah.
1-1.
So
imagine they were playing against a relegated team, Southampton, and they played 1-1 at home.
it was that defeat harmed them. Yeah.
Then Newcastle
feels like a defeat.
Yes.
This match tells me that this is a match that Newcastle will cement their top 4 aspirations. They're playing Ipswich Town at St. James Park.
Unfortunately for their competition, Newcastle are not like others that do give away. They don't.
They're very ruthless.
So they will hammer Ipswich. Ipswich can be sure of that. You can expect over 3 goals in that fixture. Yes.
Or from one team.
Yes, from Newcastle, you can expect that.
Wolves might just confirm their status if they beat Leicester.
It's even confirmed already.
Yeah, I think it's confirmed.
There's already an unassailable.
We didn't even talk about the defeat of United yesterday. Because we have talked about United to the point that United fans now have started to banter us.
I think, unfortunately, now, United losing a game does not, pop up on the radar anymore.
It doesn't look like an upset.
We have been desensitized to it. So
is that bad?
Yes, it's that bad.
I think what we can say is then look into the future a bit.
Yes.
If you ask me, should this guy be retained? Amorim, I'll say yes. For the reason that somebody said something over the weekend on Twitter, and it struck me that around the same time this guy was appointed.
The Wolves manager, right?
Yes,
I saw that post.
And 16 more points than Amorim. So you'd have expected that when he took over United at 13th, worst case, maybe they should be in 8th position.
Yeah.
If you look at that, you say they should sack him. But at the same time, when you look at stats like this guy, their striker, Højlund, 1 goal in 27 games, those are nice players. So for that reason, they should at least give him to the start of season. However, within 5 weeks, he'll be under pressure. Next season, if
I don't think there's any scenario where it would be reasonable to fire that guy at this point.
Exactly.
I don't care what position.
Too many bad players.
It's not going to change anything. And that's one of the mistakes Chelsea have been making over time. You think changing the manager is going to immediately change the narrative. It's not. It's a process. Arteta is where he is today with Arsenal because he was given time to cook. He cooked, and now everything don't rise. You understand? Sorry, everything don't stew. Everything don't rise.
Again, United's zone is not that straightforward, like I said. The fact that Amorim has not improved the team, but I haven't said that he inherited a lot of mess. So the least they can
injuries have not been kind to him.
I think he needs 2 transfer windows.
He needs more.
No,
he needs more because they don't have the finances. If they could go out and spend 200 million, 300 million, he would need to. But I think he needs more, and I think he needs to be smarter with the academy. He needs to find players that he can mold.
Then within the first 10 games next season, he should not be out of the top 6 positions.
Yes.
But once it seems like 11,
because
12,
there the fans can,
because those 10 games you're talking about, they should at least win 5. Do you think the image of Sir Alex is really affecting any manager there? Because he comes to the stadium virtually all the time. He's the only former coach of a big team that's always...
I don't think it's that anymore. It would be too simplistic to put it down to that because you can see the many mistakes they're making. Look at Anthony. Look at the guy they brought from Newcastle. They're forgetting that head of football, whatever. Within 6 months, they fired him. So that is not Sir Alex Ferguson. Let's be honest. There are just too many mistakes that they're making.
Because these things are about accumulative. Dan Ashworth is a accumulation of mismanagement over the years. Poor decision making, people round pegs in square holes, square pegs in round holes, and stuff like that. Hiring the wrong people, putting transfers in the hands of people who don't really know how to navigate the market and build a squad, and that's why they are where they are now. Ineos claimed they are going to do better, but like you said, Ashworth was hired and fired according to them because of his managerial choice.
And they chased him for about 6 months.
Yeah, and right now you could look at that decision and say maybe he saw something. That was why he was saying, won't you rather go for this manager than that manager? But then, they just have to start taking stock of their mistakes and see what they can improve gradually.
And the irony of this whole thing is, Ineos came in, people were celebrating. And I laughed. I said, what did they do in France? What did they do in France in Nice?
Well, Nice, initially they started well.
Yeah, Nice was
they became arrogant.
Yeah, Nice was like a shooting star.
Was this guy not their first coach, Vieira?
They fired Vieira
and he did well.
Because he told them the truth. It's like they don't like the truth. I've noticed about them. They want to always do things
their way.
Their own way. Well, let's go to Germany. It's now 8 points, no more 6 points. Bayern Munich will play Mainz and Bayern Leverkusen will play Augsburg. We are hearing the gist that Madrid wants to take Alonso.
Yeah.
But in my own view, personal view, I feel they should go for Klopp. Because the second season has really exposed his deficiencies at Bayern Leverkusen, to be honest with you.
I think that's a bit unfair.
It's a bit unfair. Why?
Okay.
They won the league, but they didn't become Bayern Munich all of a sudden. So if Bayern Munich comes back, again, they've lost just 3 matches. In other words, if you make a couple of signings, you can get that balance right.
Based on the coach Bayern Munich had, is where I'm coming from.
No, I think you're yes. Now, let's understand something. Winning a league against the odds and building dominance are two different things. You need resources to establish dominance in a league. Klopp, when he was in Germany, even with Dortmund,
eventually they took all the players.
They had
Lewandowski,
they will break you.
That defender,
and that's the thing. Yes, Hummels and all those guys. They took goods. They will pluck your players.
Not only were they taking them, their rivals were taking them.
So the thing is, in order for him to establish dominance, he will need more resources to compete with the likes of Bayern. That we all knew that was just a blip on Bayern's part. So, but
not just a blip, but they did well too.
Yes,
but
we are not taking anything away from them.
They did well. Yes, that unbeaten season and all. But do you think Madrid be a step too far for him?
When you look at Arteta, then he's going back home.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a big gamble. It's a bit of a gamble, but not a big gamble. He won a double last. They didn't win a double, or eventually just won.
It was a double. They lost the Europa. You know, Arteta came to a damaged team. He started from the scratch. Madrid is not bad.
Let's put it this way. Anybody they go for between Klopp and Alonso, you won't say it's stupid. You won't say it's a bad decision.
Yeah. I think just looking at it from the surface, Klopp is unlikely to leave his role.
I think he's enjoying that.
He's unlikely. He has already said he wants to take some time from the game. He's in a senior management position and he's enjoying it.
Have we forgotten
But I think he's smart.
Have we forgotten that he was resting when Liverpool came to play?
No, that one we knew he would come back. But for now, he said football has expended him.
In Italy, on Saturday, Inter AS Roma.
That match is... I'll go with an Inter win or draw.
I'll go for a 1-1.
Then FA Cup. Crystal Palace, Aston Villa. The first of the FA Cup on Saturday.
It's hard to call, to be honest.
It's hard to call, but I'll go with a Villa win or draw.
Then Copa del Rey final. The El Clasico. Barcelona, Real Madrid.
Barcelona has had the edge recently. And that would be the only reason. Otherwise, anything can happen.
I don't think it's just about the edge. You know, Madrid has no identity. You don't know what to expect from them from the game. They are just relying on vibes and inshallah. And unfortunately, that will not be enough against Barcelona. They are a well-drilled machine. Their high line, their back line. No, it's I would say with fair confidence and 80% of confidence that Barcelona are going to drop Madrid.
Okay, I look at the Madrid win or draw because the good thing was Mbappe didn't play yesterday because of his red card. So he's eligible for that match.
Well, he will rest and they'll still do them the thing that have been doing.
Then on Sunday, quick one, Bournemouth, Man United. Then Liverpool can be champions if they beat Spurs.
No rest for the wicked. And the Devils will not rest. Bournemouth again. They won't go Bournemouth, you mouth.
So give and take.
No, it's a Bournemouth win or draw.
What about Liverpool versus Spurs? Would they be crowned champions finally?
Yes, Liverpool will win.
They'll win?
Yes.
Good.
Chelsea, prepare for God of honor.
Then in Italy, quick one. Fiorentina, Empoli, Juventus, Monza, Napoli, Torino.
Let's start with Napoli-Torino. It's another game when Napoli are going to labor because Torino is a stubborn side. So you still be looking at Napoli win or draw. Napoli win or draw because they need the points. Well,
what about Juventus-Monza?
Juventus-Monza. Monza is another tricky team. So Juventus win or draw for me.
And now Juventus win.
Because Juventus are at home. So
then finally, Nottingham Forest, Man City, the second semi-final of the FA Cup.
Tricky.
At Wembley.
Tricky. But I'll just back Pep.
So, well, I think that's that for now, for the games for the week. It's always exciting to be in the studio with you guys. Thank you once again,
pleasure.
Good man, for coming through, for giving us your opinion. Guys, I want you to lend your opinion to the matter we have discussed in the studio today. We were looking at who is going to make it to the Champions League final. Last week, we asked you to come on our comment session and to predict the fixtures. And unfortunately, we were not able to see a winner. But most of our followers were complaining that it's too difficult now. You put 2 games and you said, okay, that's fine. For this weekend, you don't need to predict the score line because there's a correct score they had. So you predict, we are going to make it this time around 5 fixtures, and we'll make it 10K. So you go like this, you predict 5 fixtures. You can start from immediately you encounter this video. Predict 5 fixtures, win, draw, or loss. Whichever way, predict who is going to win. Is it going to be a draw? And so you get 5 fixtures, you get 10K. Make sure you are following us across all our social media platforms. And of course, share this post when you see it. Until we come back again, man, it's always fun having you guys. Thank you. And it's goodbye from my end. Over to you guys.
Thank you. It's been nice having you guys. Watch us again. See you next time.
All right.
Well, they have said it all. Thanks for viewing. Stay blessed.